Alright guys, this is Max. I had to restart the live stream because, well, I forgot all about the one I scheduled, and I apologize for that. Plus, I was having some difficulty getting back in with the old live stream on Splitter Live. Alright guys, this is Max. I had to restart the live stream because, well, I forgot all about the one I scheduled, and I apologize for that. Plus, I was having some difficulty getting back in with the old live stream on Splitter Live. Alright guys, this is Max. I had to restart the live stream because, well, I forgot all about the one I... Here we go. Okay, is everyone hearing me clearly on this? How about now? Is the mic any better? Yep, that doesn't surprise me about the sound thing. Hold on, let me check. All right, so am I coming over clear for everyone? Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. I think that was just a little issue with X Splitter getting connected initially, and also feedback from YouTube because I had the sound on the video, so I'm actually taking it off now. So now I can see the chat, and we're good to go. We are in the middle of finishing the season with this PC Cup car, the LB C63. This car has received a nice buff, but it's still kind of meh when it comes to ultimate performance. Low 12-second car, which is not bad, but if we think about it, some really old cars like the Z28 and even the Ford GT350 also runs about 12.1s. So it's not as impressive, say, like the NSX or some of the other cars that are running much, much quicker. So, yeah, I see a lot of people popping in. Welcome to the live stream. I'm sorry it's so late. I kind of forgot that I actually saved the notification. I was testing it, thinking for future live streams I would notify you guys ahead of time, but I accidentally saved it on YouTube and forgot all about it today. But it was nice of some of the guys to reach out to me on chat, and I appreciate you guys letting me know that I screwed up. But so I'm just doing the live stream now. Yeah, the final PC Cup time is between 13.1 to 13.3, as Gamer Bomb just mentioned. It's not a very difficult cup at all. And Antoinette, shout out to you. So what I did is I first start the car usually off as stage 5 only. Instead of doing a separate video on stage 6 effects, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through each stage 6 as I make the runs through this PC Cup so you guys can get a feel for it. Because I'm going to be tuning these on the fly, I'm not going to be able to have as detailed a tune setup as Kamich have done on Facebook. But we'll get a general idea of the effects of the stage 6s at the same time. So we can kind of look at the car from both stage 5 and stage 6 effects. Let's start off. You know that PC Cup is generally very easy for the first 20 runs. So it should be no real issue for me to get through with just stage 5 for at least the first 10-15 runs. There are going to be speed traps and sprints spread periodically throughout. And what I found so far with this car is that it's not really that difficult to drive, but it's also not extremely impressive when it comes to beating its own speed traps and sprints. Antoinette, I will probably jump on a little bit after the PC Cup to a live lobby if any of you guys are in the mood to kind of try to race me. I'm up for that. It'll be fun. I can tell you what the cars that I have dynos and what lobby it's probably going to be in, and stick around for 10 minutes. We could do some live racing. All right, so I just did a 14102 with the stage 5. I know that's not that good because the dyno actually says it's a lot better, so I must have screwed up somewhere with the nitrous. Let me check the dyno once more and see where the dyno says I should be running. Let me move this over a little bit. Here we go. All right, let's see. So dyno says 13946. NOS in third might very well be faster. It really depends on ultimately the level of upgrade and tune. I know that on my other account, I already finished the PC Cup with a partially built car, but it has more stage 6s installed. Nitrous was best used in second for at least that setup. Okay, so stage 5, you're talking about around 13.9 to 14.1. So once you start adding stage 6s, it really depends on which ones you want to throw in. Today we're going to start with engine, and we can bump it in. Third is faster. You got it. I will run third nitrous for the next run. I'm going to throw engine in and do the run with engine attached. That's a nice bump in numbers, both the Evo as well as the PP numbers. So that should be a decent decrease in the time. I'm not going to fine tune anything yet. Let's just take a look. So about 2/10 according to the computer without adjusting anything. We should be able to, again, tweak out a few more points. That's usually the case with most of these upgrades. And with more power upgrades, sometimes more grip is helpful, sometimes it's not. So 13.698, what I'm going to do is I'll run it now, and I'm going to run 2 or 3 runs with just engine, but I'm going to run both nitrous in second and in third. Let's see which way runs best. I think perfect launch seems to get some of the best runs. You can always try launching a little earlier. Right, so yes, with the max tune, second is faster, but right now we have only one stage 6, so let's try nitrous in third. Whoop, that was late. So that's my fault. And then I was early on the other shift, so this is probably not going to be too close to dyno, unfortunately. Yeah, about a tenth off still. Hey, Winston, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. All right, so 13.756, definitely better than stage 5. We dropped from 14.1 run to a 13.7, although the dyno would have been from 13.9 to a 13.6. So it could be better, but engine did drop 2/10. Standard, not great, not terrible. It's a nice start though. So now I'm going to go and switch to the next stage 6, which would be turbo. So we're kind of starting off with usually the weaker ones. Engine, turbo, intake are usually not the strong stuff. And then you're going into the stronger ones like nitrous and body. But let's see what turbo does. Andrew, welcome to the live stream. And you're right, this car has a big Evo drop. That means it's a dyno crusher if you tune it that way, but it's very hard to launch that way if you do it. So the large dyno drop usually is a few hundred points. It really depends on your upgrade level first, but let's see where we're at here. You can get the dyno drop one of 2 ways. You can always do it by lowering your final drive like I'm doing now until you see the drop. You'll get an increase first when it gets to like its optimal point based on grip and power. It's going up, but at some point it's going to drop down. So here it looks like I'm almost at 2.0 and it's still going up. That's because the grip is not that severe yet. But then as you lower grip, you'll see it starts to tweak. And at some point, we'll hit that cliff where it drops off. Oh, this might be the cliff point. That's not really a major drop. I'm going to need stage 6 tire to probably get that in there. But you notice that this car has a funky tune with the grip. It can get a pretty decent here, and then it drops, but then it increases a little bit once you get to a certain point, like here, although it's not as optimal. So that just means it's kind of struggling right now with grip and power. But once I get to stage 6 tire, you'll see the more strong cliff drop with the Evo. That's a bigger dyno beating run. So here I'm going to take, oh, I didn't dyno, did I? Let's dyno it real quick and make sure we know what we're anticipating to get as far as 13.722. So pretty close to what engine would do. So engine, turbo, not too far off from each other. Now we're going to run it with just turbo and see how it goes. I think that 9,000 point one coming up is a speed trap. Maybe I will run it just with turbo for the next 2-3 runs. This way we can get to that one and see what kind of top speed I get out of this car. Too early. So nitrous in third again. I'm running a pretty low final drive, so you don't get as an aggressive initial acceleration as before. So I can also balance it, I guess, moving the final drive up and then making the tire grippier. But this setting here probably will give me a little higher top speed rather than a faster acceleration. As you can see, the 0 to 100 is not great, but it's not terrible. And it's actually pretty close to what you need to get through more than 80% of the races here. 129 trap speed is obviously not going to be a problem. This car will definitely hit that. Yeah, here we go. And turbo, nitrous. And here we're at 167. Eventually, you're going to need to hit like 182. I believe it's the fastest mile per hour. But with just one stage 6 in full fusion, it's already at 168. The good news and the bad news is, of course, that means it's pretty fast with just one stage 6, but it also means you're probably going to need a few stage 6 to get to 182. So that's kind of a balance issue. Bruna, I can look into making a Dodge Demon video. I've never built one. I have one, I just didn't build it. And I've never tested it, so you got to give me some time to play with that before I can get that together. In the meantime, though, I will look into it and I'll slowly build the car because I'm always trying to keep my money up at a certain level too, so I don't build tier 5 cars very often. Hey, CSRJ, how are you? My day's going well. I was late to my own stream, unfortunately, but other than that, everything's good. Okay, so we're going to go back now and look at the third stage 6 in the series here, which will be intake. So turbo engine, not too far from each other. So far, I haven't even gotten close to dyno, but then again, I haven't been driving it that well either. All right, so intake, take turbo off. So intake only at this point. Losing, ooh, yeah, that actually isn't bad. That looks like it's very close to turbo, may even outperform it. Let's take a look at the dyno first. Yes, it actually outperforms turbo so far with this tune. Now, if the tune gets changed, the question is whether it would actually do better. Right now, with less power, it seems less grip is working well for keeping the car's Evo points up. Then too little grip is no good either. You kind of want to balance it between these. So this seems to be a good number to be at. 13668 theoretically, assuming I can drive it right. Alberto, welcome to the stream. I could do the GTS tune again. I forgot about that. I remember someone asking about it. I will look into that car one more time. I did a video on it before for how it works and how much it beats dyno by, but being that it's a tier 4 car and it's not the fastest out there, it's not a car that a lot of people use after they kind of get through Tempest with it. The only good news about the GTS is, of course, it's very good for negative Evo tune, so you can use it in a lot of map racing. In fact, that's my go-to car for tier 4 map racing. And it's not bad if you just want to, run it. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to ignore your request. I will get it together, Alberto. But what I'm telling you is that the GTS is not a bad car, but it's just not a lot of people use it after getting it built because there are just so many other tier 4 cars to use. How's this car for Tempest 2? Well, it should be fast enough to beat Tempest 2. Tempest 2 does not involve any speed traps. It's all sprints. This car is not the strongest in sprints, although it's not terrible. The GTS could sprint a lot better. So between the GTS and this car, the GTS is much easier to build, much easier to get somewhere with. I would use the GTS. Now, third gear nitrous doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot for me getting close to dyno here. I'm going to have to see. Let me try once with the second gear dyno. It could be because I have the final drive put into 2.0 that I'm facing some problems here with this. Oh, first sprint. Okay. All right, so let's do this one. That is kind of slow. Let me see what that one came out to be. That should be like high force. Yeah. Oh, okay. Low force. Not as bad as I thought, but that was definitely not very fast feeling. So that's a 4.197. I'm going to make one more run and use nitrous in second for this, try to see if the times get any better. Okay, let's see. Have you heard when a new Tempest will be released? I wish I was like Mills. Mills has a little more connection with CSR's developers, so you tend to get information from them about release dates and things. So I would keep an eye on Mel CSR2's channel for that kind of information because he would know better than I would. If anything, my information may even come from him if I start posting videos about a future event or things coming up. So definitely keep an eye on his channel for that kind of information. He's much better with that information. I'm always getting it secondhand, so I can't give you updated info on that very well. Okay, so I'm going to try nitrous in second, see if it'll do a little better or not. It may not. We'll see. I know third works for certain setups and certain upgrades. All right, it did run a little better than when I used third nitrous in third, so it's closer to the dyno than third gear nitrous. Yeah, I haven't heard anything actually about Tempest 4. I know that there was, remember, you probably remember this, Kamich. Remember there was leaks of screenshots from glitches when we saw all the tokens and stuff that were for Tempest 4, Tempest 5, or it was already in the game data and it showed up during one update as a glitch. So we know it's going to be in there somewhere sooner or later. It's just that with Legend released recently, and knowing that CSR planners are already out to the end of the year with their planning now, and there was no mention of Tempest, I'm not expecting to see Tempest 4 anytime soon. Well, yeah, it'll definitely take them a year from now, because from my understanding, based on what Mills knows, is that their planners are about a year ahead in the overall game design already. So they are planning stuff for the end of this year as we speak. So it's unlikely, if we heard nothing about Tempest at this point, it's unlikely we're going to all of a sudden have Tempest before the end of the year. Okay, so intake 17.0, I'm not too hurt about that. That's not too bad. So now we're starting to look into the stage sixes that generally are pretty strong. Let's see what nitrous can do for this card. Nitrous, for many cards, especially in tier 4, is kind of a big boy that gives you a nice drop in time. I anticipate it'll do the same thing here too. Let's see. So one of the big thing about nitrous is you get this huge duration increase when you put stage 6. So what you're going to do is you're obviously going to bump it down a little bit to put it in the quote optimal duration, whatever that might be. This card seems to like a decent duration, but then again, let me see if grip here will start. Yep, grip will also help a bit. Oh, there's that drop we were talking about earlier. See, 548, 1 point, 208, dyno, 14.1, little increase, 13.4. So big difference. Remember, 13.9 something was stage 5. 13.4 is a 5/10 plus drop. That's a big drop. Actually, that's 13.49. Maybe that's 13.5. So let's say 4/10, almost 5/10 drop. That's a big drop for one stage 6. So nitrous definitely is a great stage 6 for this car. It looks like 2.0 seems to be the good point to be at. And now, one thing you'll know that if I cut it this tight to the line with a Evo drop, what's going to happen is, let's say, let's go race. When you launch the car perfectly now, there's a good chance you're going to get a 0 RPM drop. Now, I don't know how you launch, but the way I launch is I do the time drop from, max RPM. I just let go and it kind of drops. If you drop it just right into the middle of the perfect zone, you're going to get a 0 RPM drop. But if you're a little off from that, you'll still get a perfect launch without the 0 RPM drop. So let me see if I can trigger. Okay, so here I got a good launch, but it's kind of a weird, instead of launching at the point of perfect where it's supposed to, it kind of launched a little bit closer to 4K. That's not a bad thing. It probably allows me to hit closer to dyno, but not quite. The perfect launch will be closer to where it starts where perfect was. Now, this is not too far off from the dyno, right? 13503, it's a 13495, I believe, was the dyno. So we're pretty close. But you're also risking that 0 RPM drop here. And I'll see if I could trigger the 0 RPM drop on one of these runs. Now, with all this extra nitrous, speed trap should be greatly improved. Let's see. All right, so I'm not launching the nitrous late. I guess if you want to get a much better speed trap on nitrous, you would do it off of third gear rather than first gear like I just did there. But 169, 138, I should be able to hit 170s. Hey, Drew, welcome to the stream. And welcome to Andrew Mante as well, and some of the others that popped in. I'm kind of glancing back and forth, so if I miss you, please speak up. Definitely do not mean to ignore anybody in here. So let's add a little gold gas here so the car's ready to roll. All right, so nitrous did pretty well, 169 just by itself. I'll do one more race, then I'll move on to the next stage 6. So we're kind of doing, again, just to recap for those who just came in, what I'm doing is I'm running the PC Cup, but I'm also doing the stage 6 effects as I'm running the PC Cup. A little different than what I normally do, and hopefully it'll be one way to get a little more interesting stage 6 effects discussion out, rather than my standard, you know, go to this dyno, go to this dyno. I know that can get monotonous after a while if you see it all day long. Okay, so that run looks like it was a lot slower. Let me see. Not too bad, but it's not quite dyno either. I did not even do the whole Zonda event. There's a reason why I didn't do the Zonda videos, because I don't have the Zonda. I didn't buy any of the Formula Italia cars. I skipped it. I was going to save my money and gold keys for something different. I am looking at that Pebble Beach P1 GTR, though. I will be getting that car. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, gamer. I totally forgot about the crew thing. If you could remind me the name of your crew that is looking for members, I'll certainly make a mention in here. It's not a problem. I'm always happy to help out any crew that needs it. Shafted 2 is looking for members. They're trying to rebuild, or are you guys just trying to get some stronger players for the purpose of easier milestone accomplishments? So, but Shafted 2 is looking for members. I just want to give them a shout out. All right, I'm going to tune this car again. So Fusions and stage 6s each have their own effect, Andrew. So you have a balance of Fusions generally in the long run are more critical in some sense than even stage 6. But depending on how many Fusions you have and how many stage 6s you have, it could really make a big difference in what the car runs. Cars without Fusions, with all stage 6s, may still be well over 2 seconds slower than a maxed out car with all Fusions. So never ignore Fusions. And part of the reason why people struggle a lot is sometimes they have stage 6s but no Fusions, or they have Fusions but they're missing critical stage 6s. Both will hurt you in this game. So this game is very part dependent, very upgrade dependent. BMW M3 GTR from InFS as a season price car. Everybody has a different view on what cars they love. As long as they keep adding cars, I'm not complaining. I mean, I like most of the stuff they're doing. That Nissan Attack package, everybody thought it was going to be a disappointment initially, but after it came and people start playing with the stats, it turns out that might be one of the few cars that can beat Tempest 3. And it's a Nissan, so Fusions are not too hard to get. Stage 6s, well, that's a whole nother story. 13597. All right. Let's let me leave here. You know what? I was so busy talking, I forgot what I just did. So I'm going to go back and look again. Okay, so we're looking at body now. Body just had a 13597. So this is a very strong stage 6. And that's before I even really fine-tuned it. And again, I'm rushing a little bit on tuning here because I just want to keep things moving. But it looks like 2.0 is not a bad spot to start at, and then you're just playing with the grip. Again, this is not bad at all. This is right on par with Well, it's not as strong as say nitrous, but it's definitely stronger than everything else, the engine, the turbo, and the intake so far. Well, Audit City, I have to. I'm not defending them, okay? You know, we're all players. We're not here to defend them, and I know that they get kind of greedy, but they are a business. They got to make money. So they always put out all these new events that cost money. In my opinion, if I don't like an event because I think it's costing me too much, I just don't do it. So you know, you can always get a bigger and better car, and they're going to slowly keep releasing better cars because they want you to keep looking for the next greatest car, and people who want that will spend. People like me that rarely play a maxed out car because I play with tunes and stuff rather than worrying about maxing it out. I don't really care as much about the fastest car in the game so much as which car I get, I can actually tweak and play with and have some fun with. So I'm enjoying the game quite a lot without spending for these cars like that Alpha AC there. I just don't need to have it. It's nice, but it's not required for me to enjoy the game. So body, again, seems to be pretty good here, doing well. Let's see what the time it runs. I didn't even need, I probably could have just left it in that gear. Shifting might have hurt me. Hey, Papalone, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, Kamich, you're exactly right. The problem with that Nismo is not that the car's not good. The problem is good luck getting the stage sixes. And that seems to be the problem with a lot of these good new cars that are coming out. Even if you get the car, even if you have some fusions, you could wait a year to get all the stage sixes. And because it's luck of the draw with everything, I've seen guys that within weeks would see 4 stage 6s for a car. And then you got guys that spend a whole year and they're still missing that one stage 6 they've been looking for. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just random number generator. So you know how that goes. Yeah, it would be nice if we can finish events with just $20 expended, but hey, this is an app game, and they I play other app games too. And let's be honest here, if you want to be competitive in most of these app games, you're not getting stuff done for 20 bucks. Okay, so we're down to 3.812 for the 0 to 100. That guy didn't even finish. Hey, his name is Max. All right. Isn't that funny? Andy may join the stream. Yeah, well, tell him to hop on in. Hey, Cypher, how are you? You're not late. I'm late. I actually scheduled this thing for like 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and I totally forgot about it. Hey, Joe, how are you? Welcome to the stream. So I'm actually the one that screwed it all up and didn't do the stream on time because I scheduled it and then forgot about it. Well, actually, I didn't forget about it. What it is I scheduled it testing the YouTube pre-notification process last night, and I totally forgot that it saves it right away. So I clicked the button, I saved it, then I didn't really remember I was supposed to run it. So I was outside, and then now I'm running it. But at least we're getting somewhere here. So body's a good stage 6. Not bad on the time, but again, I'm not really driving it that well because I'm kind of reading and running at the same time. Um, yeah, Kamich, the Ford GT, and there's some other cars too, man. The stage 6s. There are cars that I have still somewhere sitting that's missing 1 or 2 stage 6, and you just can't seem to ever get it. Hey, Average Joe, welcome to the live stream. Cash Money, welcome, Kenny. Okay, so that was body. Let's move to the next stage 6. At this point, we are down to tire and trans, so we're pretty much done with the individual stage 6s, and we can start looking at combinations in a second here. Now, mind you, I think this car is plenty grippy, so having the stage 6 tire doesn't seem to help that much. Okay, at least initially looking at the numbers here, I don't see it. It does drop it by 0.2 at least, so that's not a bad thing. But you could probably get away with a little bit less grip. Kenny, I'm doing well. I'm playing the PC Cup, which I usually put off until the weekend because doing 30 races in a row and 50 races in a row usually wears me out. But I'm taking this opportunity to again do the race here with the stage 6 effects and kind of talking about the PC Cup all combined as a live stream. So I don't have to do a separate stage 6 video for this car. Hey, Jordan, welcome to the live stream. Okay, so let's go and take a look at this run with just tired. Now, Dyno says 1376, at least on my end here. Let's see how well it does. This one is for points. I wonder if this is going to be a standard run. It is. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm using nitrous in second. I know that with some setups, nitrous in third is better, but for the purpose of what I'm doing, I think nitrous in second still gets me through. Mind you, we're quite a few races in, and so far, most of the times the opponents are running, you would have beaten that with just like a stage 4 or maybe a few stage 5s would easily beat that time, because stage 4 would get you to about 13.9, 14.0. So you're not having much of a problem up to this point with just one stage 6. There's going to be times when it comes in once it gets past 22, it'll start escalating quite quickly, and that's when we're going to start having problems with just one stage 6. All right, so let's catch up on the chat here. What's my favorite car? One of my favorite cars is the FXXK. Another one is the Regera and also the Bachmano. I love those 3 cars in this game. FXXK mostly because of the looks. I really like the way that car looks. Oh, I might have hit nitrous too early on this, but I will definitely beat 147, just not as high as I had hoped. Hey, Kenneth, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, shout out to Shafted. I just did a little plug for Shafted too. I know you guys are looking for some good players. Uh, it seems to me, at least, it's getting harder and harder to find players that are well versed in the game. I think this game is drawing in a lot of new players, which is a great thing. But I think, on the other hand, for those of us that are in Milestone Cruise all this time, looking for replacement players when an older guy decides he wants to quit, it just gets harder and harder. Antoinette, I actually have videos on Bachmano already. Do a search in my library for Bachmano. You may see 2 videos right there. But if not, what I can do is I can always do an updated video for the Bachmano. I run my Bachmano with very few parts. I don't have a fully upgraded one. What I do is I tend to run it actually in a slow lobby, but because it runs about a second under dyno, it just dominates whenever you feel like it, really. It's a killer setup in the 12-second lobby. Actually, it's closer to 13-second, but it runs 12.1 in there if you want it to. But it dynos 12.7 something, so a killer car. And I have never been bumped after probably winning, I would say, over 100, 200 races with it easily. And I rarely give up a race with the Bachmano. I usually just win. Okay, so moving right along here, we're on race 18. Time here is still very slow. Hey, I get my gas money back a little bit from gold. That's good. Do I have all stage 6s on the P1 GTR? I do, and in fact, I'm going to be doing a separate video because I did a review video of the P1 GTR already, Kenny, but I'm going to do a separate video with all the P1 GTR stage 6 effects. That car is nearly impossible to drive maxed, so I usually don't install the stage 6s anyway. Ironics, welcome to the live stream. Looks like Shafted guys are all in here now. You guys bring all your crew members into this live stream. But welcome to the live stream. It's great to have you guys. I'm going to the last stage 6 individually, and that's going to be trans. Let's see what we can do with trans. Antoinette, I'll show you later when I go do a few live races. I'll grab the Bachmano and I'll show you guys what it does. I actually shared this with my own crew guys, and a few guys that had the Bachmano, they love it. All right, so now let's see. This is the transmission. I was hoping transmission would be a little more of this than what it's showing, although it is showing a pretty high. That's not doing much. Ooh, looks like I might be looking at this 482 as the best possible number for now. Let's see what the dyno says. Oh, wow, that's not bad actually, but it's not great. 310. Still one of the stronger ones, regardless. So now we know the final time's around 13.1, right? So that means definitely with this car, if you hit nitrous body, you may be close to 13.1 right there. If you have one of the other ones, so I think 3 stage sixes would definitely get you through. This is with full fusions, of course. If you're missing all the epic fusions, you're probably going to need 4 to 5 stage sixes. So, hey, Craig, how are you? Welcome to the channel. All right. So, yeah, I'm in a very chill crew. My crew as well, we don't really push very hard beyond 20 million. We're here to collect a milestone car, have fun. That is not to say people that place harder isn't having fun. They're having fun in their own way. And that's one of the things I always want to. I never jump in on these discussions on Facebook, but I just don't like people putting down how other people play. You like to play hard, you having fun, that's what's important. I don't like to play that hard. I'm kind of lazy, so I just do my 20 million in a crew. I mean, not personally, I do my 1 million, but I'm in a 20 million crew. I'm more than happy to just kind of hang out there. I don't shoot for the 40, 50 million kind of goals because, you need a device that'll cooperate and you need a lot of time to and drive to do it to get there. I'll be honest, I'm not that great a live racer because I get bored very quickly. And if you're swapping with me, there's a good chance after 10 races, I'm going to start screwing up left and right because I'm falling asleep. Okay, so here is Sprint, I believe. Yep. Okay, this car, even at 2.0, cannot get to 100 mile per hour in seconds. So that hurts its 0 to 100 slightly, but 3.7 is not bad. I think the final sprint is only like a 3.8. So at least it's not going to have too much of a problem with the sprint. As far as I'm concerned, I think it should be fine. So yeah, 700,000 to a million's what I think a relatively easy one to get, assuming you're doing all your map races, you're doing some live racing. If you don't have the PC car, of course, you're losing out on easy, I would say 400,000 points, about 400,000 points. That means you're gonna have to make it back up in live. That's gonna be a little more work. But if you have a strategy to save silver keys, you should never be without the PC car anyway. Even if you couldn't build a oh, that was interesting. That was almost like a 0 RPM drop, but not quite. But if you get the keys, you get the car, even if you don't beat the PC Cup, you can eke out maybe 45,000, 50,000 points. So there's always ways to make points as long as you play a little bit. If you're spending the whole season and you're barely doing 200,000 points, you're probably not playing enough. I just don't see why people are that low in points unless they're like level 10. That's understandable. Okay, so as you can see, when that RPM did the weird drop, it really killed the time. And that's not unusual. Obviously you're not able to get an aggressive acceleration if you get that drop. So that's probably right on border of where I would have gotten a full 0 RPM drop. And Craig, you're right. You can absolutely get a million with no live racing. Okay, you can do all the maps, every point on the map you can grab, you grab it. You probably come close to a million anyway. Live racing makes it a lot easier, though, I'll be honest. And plus, I want my silver keys. That's part of what I look for when I do live racing is I'm trying to gather silver keys every day, so my buffer for the next PC Cup is always there. You need 750 keys to guarantee the PC car. And if you had a bad season where you burned a bunch of keys and you didn't replenish them with live racing, life can get a lot tougher. So, yep, the next one, Kenny, is going to be the LBRS5. I believe that's the case, unless Natural Motion switch it or something. But yeah, we have. You should always save keys every season for the PC Cup car. You should always run the PC Cup. Another thing is you really need to start saving bronze keys. Bronze keys are critical if you have a brand new PC card and you don't have enough stage 6 or parts, the only way to guarantee getting it is through burning tons of bronze keys. So I don't do as much random bronze key pulling as years ago, 2 years ago, simply because I'm saving those for those moments. When I get to a PC card I'm missing parts on, I wait till the crate comes around and then I burn thousands of bronze keys in one shot because I've been saving them. And that usually is how you get those final stage 6s. So, you know, wow, you saved 10,000 silver keys, Bruna? That's impressive. I'm sorry, I have like 2,000, which I thought was pretty impressive, but 10,000 is a lot. Okay, so you'll never have a problem getting your PC Cup card, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to put 3 really strong stage 6s in, retune it, and I suspect just like this card will easily beat the final piece. Do I have a stage 6 on the Bach mono for that setup? Antoinette, I have to look. I don't think so, but I have to check. It definitely has some, I think maybe one stage 6 or it's all stage 5s. I have to see. When I jump on that card, you'll see it along with me. I believe I only have stage 5 and stage 3 parts, and literally only 2 parts upgraded. So, okay, let's see here. 12.9. Okay, so these 3 stage 6s, which I just installed, which is nitrous, body, and trans, all of which are strong ones, shows 12.9, which will definitely beat this PC Cup. So that's trans, nitrous, body, but these are the strong ones. Remember, body and nitrous is really strong. So that means after this one, I'm going to switch to the other 4. Let's see how the other 4 compares to these 3. I suspect the other 4 may not even get to 12.9 together. And again, this is all with full fusions. Without full fusions, you may not even see 12.9. You may see like 13.2 at the moment. So with this kind of upgrades, I think it's going to be second gear nitrous. Let's see here. Now, as long as I can get 13.0, then I know I can get through the last race. Okay, 210. Top speed could be a little better. 13.022. That should be enough to get through to the end. But again, it's not quite what I was hoping to run. Would have been better if I can actually run 12.9. See. Nice. Top 80 is actually really up there. I think my crew is top 1,000 to 2,000. I don't think we've ever been really even in top 500. But you know, top 80, you actually have to work pretty hard. Okay, so I'm gonna use nitrous in third. And what is it, 160? That should definitely hit 160, but it won't hit 180 right now, right? It's hitting 177 and change. Mind you, it showed 178, but if the requirement was 178, I would have lost that. Because the way the computer actually reads, they look at this mile per hour, not that. This is why sometimes you'll see 160, 160 and you lose, because it actually shows 160, 159.58. The computer rounds it up in this display, but it rounds it down if it's a 0.4. But it is still not a 160. That's why you can see the same time here and still lose. So when you lose, don't get frustrated. It's probably just slight mile per hour difference that's not shown on the main number. So that's one of the things you got to keep an eye on. Sometimes I see people complaining about that. Well, I did 160, but I still lost. Well, not really. You did 159.9. It's not 160. Okay.